evening and welcome. Our first piece is American Folk Song Suite, arranged by Bob Loudon in 1985. It contains several tunes you may not know by name, but you could hum along with them instantly, such as When Johnny Comes Marching Home Again, Bury Me Not on the Lone Prairie, Turkey in the Straw, Shenandoah, and Camptown Races. Bob Loudon was an internationally known arranger and composer. He was one of the best-known modern-day arrangers for orchestra, bands, and jazz bands. His works not only encompass professional orchestras, film, and recordings, but he was a major contributor of musical arrangements for Americans' college and high school performances. Mr. Loudon was the chief arranger for over 100 recordings of 101 Strings. American Folk Suite. Salvation is Created, written in 1912 by Russian composer, conductor, and teacher Pavel Teshkanov, 1877 to 1944. Salvation is Created was one of the last sacred choral works that he wrote before being compelled towards secular music by the Soviet Union. One of the most endearing and beautiful chorals ever written. Enjoy Salvation is Created. Maple Leaf Rag is an early ragtime musical composition for piano by Scott Joplin. It was one of Joplin's early works and is one of the most famous of all ragtime pieces. It became the model for ragtime compositions by subsequent composers. As a result, Joplin was called the King of Ragtime. The piece gave Joplin a steady, if unspectacular, income for the rest of his life. Despite ragtime's decline after Joplin's death in 1917, the Maple Leaf Rag continued to be recorded by many well-known artists. The ragtime revival of the 1970s brought it back to mainstream public notice once again. Prior to its publications, Joplin anticipated that the piece would be a success. He told Arthur Marshall that the Maple Leaf Rag will make me the king of ragtime composers. Please enjoy this familiar favorite, Maple Leaf Rag. Composed as part of Shostakovich's suite for variety orchestra, Waltz No. 2 is one of the composer's most famous works. The suite was composed post-1956 and was subsequently used as part of the soundtrack for the Russian film The First Elkhorn. The suite itself is comprised of 8 small movements, all of which are scored for a large orchestra. The variety element is supported by Shostakovich's addition of a full saxophone section, a celeste, and 2 pianos. In the composer's notes at the start of the score, he writes that the movements can be played in any order, and they do not all have to be played in one performance. We hope you enjoy Waltz No. 2. far this concert season, you have heard part 1 and 2 of Gustav Holst's First Suite in E-flat for military band. Tonight you will hear the third phase of this piece, simply named March. We hope you enjoy this final piece from Gustav Holst, March. Highlights from West Side Story by Leonard Bernstein, as arranged by Ted Ingram. West Side Story is loosely based on Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. The story is set in the West 50s and West 60s of the Upper West Side neighborhood of New York City in the mid-1950s, an ethnic blue-collar neighborhood. The musical explores the rivalry between the Jets and the Sharks, two teenage street gangs of different ethnic backgrounds. The members of the Sharks from Puerto Rico are taunted by the Jets, a white working class group. The young protagonist, Tony, one of the Jets, falls in love with Maria, the sister of Benito, the leader of the Sharks. The dark-themed, sophisticated music, extended dance scenes, and Bernstein's scores from the musical includes Something's Coming, Maria, America, One Heart, G, Off Comp, and Cool. In this evening arrangement, you will hear the opening theme, Maria, I Feel Pretty, and tonight, highlights from West Side Story. point in our concert, I would like to thank Channel 990 and 991 and stgenTV.com for filming our performances each week. Let's give them a big hand. And also, if it is raining or excessive heat, we will be performing at the Performing Arts Center at St. Genevieve School. There will be a sign right over here at the entrance here to let you know where we will be. Our next selection is the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys were America's first pop band to reach the 50-year milestone in 2011. For over 5 decades, they have recorded and performed the music that has become the world's favorite soundtrack to summer. The band started in Hawthorne, California in 1961 and was originally comprised of the 3 teenager Wilson brothers, Brian, Carl, and Dennis, and their cousins Mike Love, and the school friend Al Jardine. The Beach Boys signed with Capitol Records in July of 1962 and released their first album, Surfin' Safari, that same year. The album spent 37 weeks on the Billboard charts, launching the young group known for its shimmering vocal harmonies and relaxed California style into international stardom. The Wilson-Love collaboration resulted in many huge international chart hits, and under Brian Wilson's musical leadership, the band's initial surf rock focus was soon broadened to include many other themes, making the Beach Boys America's prominent band of the 1960s. The pieces you are about to hear contain a few favorites, including I Get Around, In My Room, and Fun, Fun, Fun. We hope you enjoy the Beach Boys on stage. Country Gardens by Percy Aldridge Granger. Few melodies have become quite as popular as Percy Granger's arrangement of the traditional air Country Gardens, originally for piano. The piece has been performed by many and even has been used by the Muppets. On the other hand, Granger quickly grew to loathe the tune. He said a typical English garden is more like to be a vegetable plot than used to grow flowers. He complained, "So you can think of turnips as I play it." I hope turnips are not what you're thinking of as you listen to this typical Granger piece. Maybe a rose garden? We hope you enjoy Country Gardens. Leroy Anderson wrote The Syncopated Clock in 1945 while serving with the U.S. Army in Washington. Anderson has been invited to guest conduct the Boston Pops Orchestra during their annual Harvest Night. Anderson wanted to introduce a new work and compose a song about a clock with a syncopated rhythm. The idea for the title reportedly occurred to him before he wrote the music. In a few hours, he wrote the music, scored it for orchestra, and then mailed it to the Symphony Hall in Boston. Fiedler had the orchestra parts copied from the score. Then, with a 3-day pass, Anderson traveled from his home in Arlington, Virginia to Boston, where he conducted the premiere on May 28, 1945. When the syncopated clock was recorded in 1950, it was noticed by the producer of a new television program called The Late Show. Here is the syncopated clock. The Goldman March we will hear tonight is On the Mall, composed in 1923. The phrase "on the mall" refers to the mall at the Naumburg Bandshell, where Goldman's band frequently performed in New York City's Central Park. Goldman composed "On the Mall" to honor Elkan Naumburg, the financier of the bandshell. In a technique identified with Goldman, the trio is predominantly sung by the band members and then repeated with whistling. A great believer in the public participation, Goldman encouraged audiences to sing along and then whistle or clap with the band in performances of On the Mall. The concluding strain of the march can also be sung with lyrics written by Goldman's wife, Adelaide. Feel free to sing, whistle, or clap along with the band as they perform On the Mall. Marvin Leah Day, born September 27th of 1947 and passed January of 1922, better known by his stage name, Meatloaf, is an American musician, singer, songwriter, record producer, and actor. He is noted for his powerful, wide-ranging operatic voice and the theatrical live shows. His Bat Out of Hell trilogy album has sold more than 500 million copies worldwide. Released in September of 1977, Bat Out of Hell still sells an estimated 200,000 copies annually and stayed on the charts for over 9 years, making it one of the best-selling albums in history. This arrangement features 3 hit songs written by Meatloaf's long-standing songwriter, Jim Steinman. It includes Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad, and I'd Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That. Feel free to sing along to Meatloaf, the Hits. supporting the St. Genevieve Municipal Band. Give yourselves a big hand. We appreciate you. And if you enjoyed tonight's concert, please tell Mr. Mooney, one of the band members, Mr. Jimmy Dunsey. Just let him know how much you enjoyed tonight's concert, and we thank you, and good night.